Well, hello there. It is I, the Duchess of Corona, with a message for you all. Now, as you know, there has been much ado about something lately in the media, and I am here with this segment of Tea Time with the Duchess. Now, let's talk about it. Okay. So, as you all know, this young lady, with her wits about her, named Sukihana, has been hot in the press, and the reasoning is rather remarkable, actually. It's quite sad. You see, YK Osiris, okay, he has forcibly kissed Sukihana, and now she is quite hurt, as you can see in the article. Now, if you're not familiar with the situation, this young lady to the right of us has been kissed in public. Okay, let's read a bit of this article that sums up the situation. And it reads, rapper, R&B singer, oh lord, I thought he was a rapper. Every black man appears to be a rapper these days. But anyway, YK Osiris is under fire after he was seen on camera forcibly grabbing and kissing Sukihana. Now, Sukihana was at the Crew League event in Atlanta with Little Duval and is he a little person? Okay, Little Duval and another person. It appears she was judging an event and was flayed by Duval and on her left and another man on her right when YK Osiris is seen on camera walking behind her and massaging her shoulders before proceeding to bend her over back and kiss her on the mouth. Ooh. A surprised Sukihana can be heard saying, "Who is that? Stop!" She giggles a bit in the actual clip. And then she says no. But Osiris ignored her protest and went on to grin. And someone filming him as he forcibly kissed her on the mouth while she uncomfortably wrinkled and tried to move her head away from him. Now it seems that YK Osiris thought he was being funny as he grinned and laughed while no one stepped up to stop his assault. Wow, in the words of Armand Wiggins. Okay, guys, so we have to get into it. Now, I saw the clip. It was a horrid clip. It gave dusty, it gave desperate, it gave get away from thy Duchess, okay? It gave that. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of just random tongue by random men. That's not my thing. So I can understand why this was deemed an assault. But one of my biggest questions for Mrs. Sukihana is why does it seem like in all of these clips resurfaced, it seems as if she was going along with the flirting deed. Now, I'm not saying, I know some women, they just flirt quite organically and they don't even realize they're doing it, and maybe she is one of those. But if you recall correctly, I might have to insert the clip. I'm going to pause and insert the clip. Okay, you're going to have to simply just go to Instagram because for some unfortunate reason my evidence will not play. It literally will save and you'll hear her say, "I will turn your ass out." But then every time I try to drop it in my actual library, the sound just disappears. So I guess the evidence will be removed. But you can see it for yourself. I'm not about to upset myself. Let's continue. Okay, as you can see, before she said things of the nature like, "I'm going to turn you out." She talks very aggressively to these men. And I'm not saying what you speak of is something that gives men permission, but I will say that I myself was a bit confused. I was confused because I've seen her go about conversations in very interesting ways. Now, Lovely T has broken it down, and I would love to suggest you go over and watch her video because she breaks down several moments, several clips. Maybe I'll insert one here. Okay, let me start off by saying this is for fair use purposes only. Also, a modern disclaimer. Don't know what's going on with my sound, but every single clip that I try to use will transfer over with the sound, and then as soon as I put it in the library, it has no sound. So I'll explain the clips. Okay, for myself, this is Sukihana twerking on a 10-year-old. This is Sukihana telling the 85 South show, Carlos, that what does she say? She has some pH for his balance. Basically throwing that cat at him, telling him it's a scratch and sniff. You guys can possibly read the words and see what she's saying there. Thank God for that. It's a lot. Basically, it's about some fetishes that, you know, some women do like. This is her in a clip. I would try to insert the other clip that is gone viral as well. Besides the YK Osiris clip, there's another clip that's gone viral of her being told what this man to the right, he says he will do all kinds of things to her. He wants to sniff her.
Make that. I know it do. I watched you walk in this motherfucker.
So you can tell by my walk?
I can tell by your walk that.
Hey, you a country nigga? Where you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. Campbellton Road to be exact. What's happening with it?
Oh
yeah, I want to put my face in your. You say Suki with the good. We talking about how good that motherfucker smell and all that. We can go to the back and I can come back and
you
give her.
You want to smell?
I might put my tongue down that motherfucker.
Oh my God.
Now you can tell by the stank ass face, she's not loving it.
Don't start with the sniffing though.
You are aggressive.
She love that shit, man.
Absolutely not.
And look at her. She like that old shit.
No, I don't.
You love that shit.
No, I mean after like during sex maybe, but you know that not right now.
Not all that shit you talk.
He wants to sniff her regions. He wants to do all kind of things, and people complain about it making her uncomfortable. But then you see backstage in those clips that she was rather comfortable. She was telling him to rub her bunions. She was telling him that her mouth does what his mouth will do and things of the sort. So back to our paid programming. Since, you know, the devil is trying to play, we'll play back. Next! How confusing it may be to behave in a certain way and then expect people to not view you in that way or think that they have access to you in that same way. When you are caught backstage, lollygagging, prancing, fluttering about with your bits in the wind, it is quite hard to not think that maybe, as a young man, because young men are stupid, we know this, as a young man, maybe he thought, okay, let me show her that I'm about that life. And I don't think this was the greatest thought that YK Osiris had. I think he is very regretful in these moments. But I will say I do appreciate an apology. I do understand how he could have misread the situation. Also, I don't want to judge a book by its cover. I know, just like anybody else, I know that just because a woman is scantily clad does not give any man permission to assume that he has access to her body. I'm quite aware, and I have made this argument for quite some time. If you are interested in seeing my personal belief system on the female existence and the female frame and the feminine aura needed to be free, just, you know, convince me to release The Thought, the first short film created by myself. It was all about women being sexual beings, sensual beings, and Me wondering, as a narrator, why is a woman comfortable in her sensuality? Why is it such a threat to the modern man? This is my stance. I literally broke up with a boyfriend before because he questioned my decision to not wear a bra. He thought, well, maybe asking for the wrong attention. I thought, man, well, maybe I want to be free. They suck. Those things called bras, brassieres, they are horrid. He didn't understand at the time. But I am very much a proponent of freedom. I am a proponent of black women especially having it ingrained in our nature to want to have our entire body experience the sun. Have you seen Carnival? I am an ex-sambista. Have you been to a Brazilian carnival and seen the lack of clothing we indulge in? It's quite beautiful. The rump that we shake is quite marvelous. But the problem is that I've also seen the other side. I've also been in the depths of the strip clubs. I've seen men take it too far. I've seen men who lack self-control. And I'm so grateful that this conversation has come about in this modern age, because it is a question of self-control. Men should be able to keep their wits about themselves, keep their hands to themselves, and have some self-control, exercise some self-control. You know, honestly, YK Osiris, a little game. I've had a man. I've talked that shit to a man before. I've looked at a man and said, boy, you just don't know. Which is very reminiscent of the young Sukihana saying, I'll turn that ass out. I've done this before. And I've had that same man look me in the eye and say, kiss me. And that shit was sexy than a motherfucker. I'm sorry, I'm breaking character, whatever. Red bottom diva gonna get into it later, whatever. Welcome. I'm an actress. I have a plethora of personalities. That is the ratchet one. But I've had that same man look me in the eye and say, kiss me. And guess what? I gave my consent and I kissed him, and it seemed like a demand, but it was a sexy demand and it was consented. So that's some game for you, YK Osiris. In the next situation, now that you have learned on a public grandiose scale, now that you've learned that that action was a no-no and a no-go and quite creepy, next time, take the power in your own hands and tell her what to do. And if she says no, take no as a no and leave it alone. I do understand, though, how he could have misread the situation. I do love a good apology. In today's modern age, people are narcissists. It's very hard to get an apology out of someone. So at this point, I think we should sip this final glass of tea. I think we should sip this final glass of tea and let the boy live. And Sukihana, now, I fuck with you and I love your song Eating. I too am a Sukihana. Summer Kiana. I mean, it's very hard for me not to resonate. But I do understand the stigma that comes with carrying yourself in a certain way. I can say the same thing. I love to pole dance. I am an ex-sambista, and I bid you well. I've actually had a stint. And that's a story for another time. If you want to know the tea, the real tea, give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, share. But I can resonate with being a sexy woman. I will say, maybe porn stars are looked at as a fun time. Now, I'm not calling you per se a porn star, but I will say that that is what most people would consider your work to be on OnlyFans. So, as Lovely T said, as Armand Wiggins said, some of my favorite YouTubers that do this kind of thing, they both said it's all about the energy that you put out. Now, we are not condoning SA We are not condoning any of the antics. We are just using it as a learning opportunity for both. And both can learn from this. Both need to take accountability. Both can learn not to lead people in the wrong direction with action. Okay, so Sukihana, go get you a corset. Put on a nice petticoat. Get you some tea and sit down and cross those legs as a good young lady shall. Or you could bust it open and continue to do what you do. But one thing I will say is this is a learning opportunity for all. And I'm very, very sad that it had to happen. I am sad that it happened at this grandiose scale. I am sad that she experienced the things that she experienced. But I'm very glad that it has become a topic of discussion for us to dissect, because it's very important to know boundaries. And that's all I'll say. I'm putting my teacup down. And comment below your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts on the Sukihana situation. Do you feel as if she has earned this type of outcome? Do you feel as if now, a lot of people saying now it's caught up with her? And now she's starting to be sad because she realizes the reputation that she has put out there has now not only became a thing of entertainment, but it's become the thing that people really see her as. They cannot separate her character from her as a person. Okay, so let's really get into the tea. The tea is what you guys provide, okay? You guys provide us with a plethora, an abundance of lovely, strong, and caffeinated teas in the comments. So that's what we'll go over at this point, to see what the people are saying. See what the people are saying, darling. A lovely gentleman said, glad I ain't from Atlanta. Someone else, it's cringy, but no one says anything when she does it to men, telling them how she wants to eat there, suck there, or splash all over them. The problem with her gimmick is that people aren't going to be able to tell her what boundaries are, because everything feels like fair game with the way she carries herself. Doesn't mean she deserves any of it, but there has to be some sort of accountability there. Suki violates men all day long, physically and verbally, but now y'all wanna be moral and safety police to this man. Double standards are wild. 43 likes, 3 replies. We have a cringy face, and then we have someone actually commenting so cringe with 2 likes. We also have, this is so vulgar, hand to the face. Crazy, making somebody that admitted drinking pee and literally pooing on ninjas think ew. She literally said, nah, not right now. And he looked at her and said, nah, F that. And proceeded to talk crazy. 3 likes. And it's so many out there that act like this. Oh, that is a scorned woman. Melted face. When women are sexually liberated, creeps like him think they have no boundaries. Like, sir, what possessed you? The fuck? Someone said, Nika, weird as hell. Clown face emoji. Somebody farted. I know y'all heard that. Okay. What are your thoughts? I would love to hear them. Okay? And stay tuned for the next video. We will be discussing, honestly, we'll be discussing someone who also commented on this situation, which is the Amber Rose biracial narrative. We'll be getting into it. Okay? So thank you guys, and I would love to chat with you a bit later. Yes. Peace.